I recently found myself in the big orange box store on the hunt for a basic set of chisels. You see, I have a couple of projects that I need to do that require chisels, and well, let's just say this poor old flat screwdriver that I sacrificed to make a chisel is no longer getting it. So there I was, pacing the aisle of the big orange box store looking for a basic set of chisels, something that would give me a mixture of quality and reasonable price. I looked at several different brands that I expected to be good brands and found on the back of them, you know what I found, made in China. Most people that know me know that I'm somebody that is fundamentally against buying tools from China. It's not to say that I have not done so in the past, but I really prefer not to. I'd much rather buy something that was made in America, put my money back into the economy, even if it's $19 worth of it. So I found two different options. There was a set of, I believe, DeWalt chisels made in Sheffield, England, which, if you know a little bit about tools, which is, you know, about what I know a little bit, Sheffield, England is known for good quality tools, edged tools coming out of there. I couldn't do it because they looked like something, the handles looked like something out of a, I don't know, a toddler's toy set. They were big and rubber and brightly colored, and it just, I don't know. Maybe they're great chisels, but truthfully, the handles threw me off. And then I saw these ones next to them, and I did not know the name, Buck Brothers, but it does say made in USA, and the price was pretty reasonable. As I mentioned, it was I think it was $19 and a little bit of change. And so I decided to take a chance, and I went ahead and purchased them. As you can see, I've taken them out of the package before it occurred to me to do a review on them, but that's all that I've done. I've taken them out of the package, and that's it. So I did a little bit of research on Buck Brothers, thinking maybe this was a new upstart brand out of the, who knows, out of the Northeast somewhere, and maybe I give them a shot. Maybe I'm discovering something new. Well, some of you may know, Buck Brothers is a very, very old brand that were known for very good chisels, and up until I think the mid-1950s was owned by the Buck Brothers. It's been sold, I think, a couple of times since then, and the name is now owned by the Great Neck Saw Company. So I have no idea what to expect out of these chisels, and truly, I'm not somebody who uses chisels a whole lot, so I don't know that I'm going to even really know what to look for. So I'm just going to look for basic stuff, and we'll tell you how they strike me. First things first, when I took these out of the package, they have on them these little hard plastic little protectors, which at first I thought were just for packaging, but when I looked at them, they're actually designed to be a sheath of sorts to go over the end of your chisel. I'm impressed with that. Right off the bat, there is a feature that is designed to keep your chisels sharp. If you get your chisels nice and razor sharp, hair cutting sharp, which these guys, well, are not. We'll talk about that shortly. But once you do get them sharp, you spend all that time on getting them sharp, you don't want to have them dinged up. And if you don't have something to cover them, it severely limits how you can transport them. You cannot throw them in your toolbox because as soon as they roll around a little bit, you're going to ding up your edge and you're going to start losing sharpness. You have to be obviously super careful about carrying them around by hand, because if you touch them, once you get them properly sharp, you're going to lose blood, and nobody likes that. So I really like the fact that they have these little hard covers on them. All three of them have these little covers, and they're pretty snug fitting. I think the 3/4 inch is probably the loosest. It sort of slips on and off, but still, it's snug on the chisel. Next, I would like to address the cutting edge, the sharpness of the cutting edge. I shouldn't be able to do this with a chisel. Yeah. Let me give this a shot on a piece of paper here. Well, it breaks the paper, but just barely. We try the other two. That one feels a little bit sharper. Alright, I'd call that one so-so. And let's go with the little guy. Half inch. Half inch looks sharp. Where am I? There we go. Now, looks can be deceiving. Alright, that's what I'm starting with. Now, I will give a little bit of slack over the fact that I paid $20 for this set of chisels. Should I expect laser sharp from a $20 set of chisels? Maybe on some level I should, but I don't. I'm just going to go ahead and take that as being okay. If you're trying to sell chisels for $20 for a set, probably don't have the ability to have somebody sitting there and hand polishing each one of them. So I will go ahead and sharpen them and go from there. 400 grit. $800 grit. And finally, 2000 grit. Now I believe I've got chisels that warrant having a little protector thingy on them. Still not perfect, but pretty good and sharp. Now next comes the fun part, taking them out and using them. I'm going to field test them, so to speak. And this is where it might get a little bit weird for you. I'm going to field test these chisels on another project that I've got going on. So I'm going to have two videos kind of crossing one another, somewhat Pulp Fiction-ish. It's not intentional, but that's the best way that I know to keep two kind of separate subjects from becoming one huge long conglomeration. So I will take these out and use them and just give you my impressions on them. After all is pretty well said and done, this is my 3/4 chisel that I did most of the work with, and it is still, let's see, it's still what I would consider pretty sharp. Let's see if it'll still cut hair. It's still, there we go, it's still pretty sharp. Now granted, that's not a whole house worth of work, it's just one letterbox, one slot, chiseled into a piece of, I don't know, pine, I suppose, fir, Douglas fir. But I would say that, well, I'm not sad that I bought this set of chisels. So what's my verdict? Well, my verdict is this. I'm a regular dude who really doesn't use chisels all that often. I mean, I probably will here in the future now that I have a set. But from a guy who doesn't like to spend a whole bunch of money, and who does not like to buy things that are made in China, I have here a set of 3 chisels made in America that seem to be of relatively good quality, that stood up to at least the job that I had for them, and I will be surely will be testing them further down the road. My only complaint, if I had one, is I need one of those little roll-up things where you put them all in and roll them up so you can carry them all at once. But that's about it. The little little blade protectors are pretty cool, and they seem to have held up, at least for for my initial job. So my final call is that for $20 you could do a lot worse than this fine little set of Buck Brothers chisels. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.